What is going on, you guys? My name is Caden Willis, and welcome back to one of my streams. It's been a while since I've streamed. I think the last stream that I did was the day after the Super Bowl, and but today, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be recapping everything that has happened in free agency so far. As you can see, free agents, we're going to be going through all the teams today. Um, I do see we have one person in here. If you're in here, make sure to hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Um, and always, you're always welcome to type in the chat and I'll answer all your questions. So I guess we could go ahead and start. Hold on, unless there's anything else. By the way, if you want to hop on here, link is in the description. Um, so yeah, I'll go ahead and start though. Um, let me type that in the chat just so link. For those that don't know, this link here in the description is to come on. It'll take you through a website called StreamYard, and then I'll just let you in the studio and you can talk with me and we can go over some stuff. And and you guys notice I did get a haircut, so hopefully we can get some comments on my haircut. It looks pretty good. Yeah, we can go ahead and look at teams. So I think what we're gonna do. I'm going to start with the Cardinals. And they did get a lot of people, and then they lost not that much. Um, but we can go ahead and start these ads. They're crazy. Um, let's see. Just to get some people in here. I mean, we got nobody in here. Like, I told a lot of people 8 o'clock. That many people are here. If you guys could give me a second, I think my phone is. Stream. Okay. Cool. I guess we got the Teddy Bates in here. Welcome, Teddy. Okay, so now that we got one person here, we can go ahead and move on, and people will probably join in. So we're gonna just go. What we're gonna do here is since like we're gonna go alphabetical order for all the teams here, and we'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. And apparently, I have a text message. Okay. All right. So Cardinals, players they signed. They signed Isaac. Oh my gosh, I cannot say that. It's crazy. Seeming, I don't even know. That's a weird last name. But I know they signed. So they took it from the Steelers. Apparently, he is a guard. So he's either a left guard, right guard, but he came from the Steelers. And then they stole running back to be Tyler Algier, which I'm a little disappointed about. And then they got Rory Lopez here from Detroit, and then Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers, Elijah Wilkinson from the Falcons. Yes, a couple Falcons players have drifted off to Arizona. Gardner Minshew, which is a little strange, got a quarterback. But we'll get back into that in a minute. Because Kyler Murray is gone. And then Andrew Wigard from the Jaguars, safety. And by the way, D-line, wide receiver, all the positions right here, and then this is how many years they are signed here. And then LJ Coiler, he's a D-line, and then Matt Proler, he's a guard or a tackle, and then the edge, Jonah Williams, semi Fico, I don't know, Fico, I cannot pronounce these names. Okay. And then Casey Crittler, and then Starling Thomas V. I guess that's the fifth. But that's who they signed. A lot of pretty good players to that. Gardner Minshew might not be the quarterback because they do have Jacoby Brissett. And then here's the players that they lost. Jalen Thompson to the Cowboys. Dalvin Thomason to the Chargers. Evan Brown to the Texans. Kyler Murray to the Vikings. That's probably why they're replacing him. They're replacing Gardner Minshew for Kyler Murray, but Jacoby Brissett is going to be taking his spot, and then Kyler Murray is now in the Vikings, and probably Gardner Minshew will be the backup, and then Charming Till Hall. They lost him to the Falcons, and then Derbacado, Derbacado. And what's up, R Grover 13? How's it going? How's it going? We're just going over the free agents we just started. Um, but if you have anything, it says trading Murray. Well, I mean, I wanted him, but freaking Tua Tagovailoa is our quarterback, and we'll get to that in a minute. And um, yeah, I know. Vikings now have a competition at quarterback, JJ McCarthy and Kyler Murray. Um, yeah, so now we're done with the Cardinals. Now we're gonna move on to, you guessed it, the Falcons. Okay. Um, Apparently Tua is not on here, but everybody knows that Tua has been signed to the Falcons. So before I get to that, I'm just gonna give you my thing. Yeah, that's a loss. I'm gonna give you my full reaction, sorry, to this Tua situation. Okay, here we go. I did not want Tua. Okay, I wanted Kyler Murray, but the freaking Falcons signed Tua, turned the ball over, Tua who gets injured, whatever you want to call him. And I am not happy about that. I would have rather had Kyler because he is a more mobile quarterback. Even I know he's 5'9", and Kyler just seems like a better quarterback than Tua. But I do understand that Tua is lefty, Penix is lefty. So I guess Tua can give Penix some tips. But if it was my decision, if I was the GM, president of football, if I was Matt Ryan, Arthur Blank, or Ian Cunningham, I would have signed Kyler Murray. But that's all I have to say about that. Okay. And then also from the Dolphins, they got a new punter, Jake Bailey. And then Austin Hooper from the Patriots. We realigned with Austin Hooper, so that's gonna be cool. Cam Thomas from the Browns, edge. It's probably I was going over a lot of this in my video just about the Falcons. Um, but edge probably because of the James Pierce situation. And then Christian Harris from the Texans, linebacker, because a lot of us know Caden Ellis is no longer with us. Um, and then Chris Williams from the Bears, D line, just to help us. And then it does say Tua Tagovailoa on here. So apparently I didn't really need to give my explaining. It says it right here, Tua Tagovailoa, or Tua turn the ball over. And then we got from the Titans, by the way, the Titans did get a new logo. So for all you Titans fans out there, if you are a Titans fan and you're in the stream right here, the uniforms, I actually like them. Logo doesn't really make sense to me because it looks kind of like a Tesla logo plus the Titans colors. So, but yeah, and then we got Nick Folk, who kicked the game-winning field goal against us week 12. That was probably one of the games we would have made the playoffs last year, but we put that behind us. And then, as we all know, Channing Tahal, as we did say for the Cardinals. Yeah. He's a linebacker, also probably replacing Caden Ellis too. And then Aziz Arjari from the Eagles. He's an edge too, also. And then Amade Zukias, wide receiver, replacing Darnell Mooney. A lot of us know Darnell Mooney is no longer here. And then Deshaun Hand, D line. And then Lakai London, D-line. We just re-signed him. And then Samson Abraham. Edge. So Falcons getting a lot of defensive players and a couple offensive players. After the James Pierce situation that happened. If you don't know about the James Pierce situation, you can look it up. But apparently, James Pierce is going to jail now for a violent domestic abuse to his ex-girlfriend. Um, and one of the reasons I can think he did that is because he didn't get picked for Defensive Rookie of the Year at the NFL Honors. That is one of the reasons that I think he did that. But moving on from the Falcons to the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson after the whole Max Crosby deal that they got traded to Max Crosby. Then they said he failed his physical and trade was declined. So they come and pick up over here Trey Hendrickson, and then they get John Simpson from the Jets, guard. Um, Jalen Hawkins, safety, Patriots. Um, and then
What's good? You want to stream? You want to?
yes, I am on stream.
Okay. Did anyone like?
People are in, 3 people are in here.
Who's in it?
I don't know. They're not typing in the chat.
Why
They're
are you
just
sitting like that?
they're not they're just okay, bro. I'm sorry, my sister's in here. Okay. All right, leave. Okay. Can you leave now?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. It's my sister. We can get back to what we were doing. Okay. Um, Shidaba Alzuze. I don't even know how to pronounce these names because these are all so funny. Re-signed, and then the Bears lost this guy. If I can't say it, I'm just gonna you guys can read it. But that's who they signed, and then who they lost. Tyler Lamberman, Isaiah Likely, Demons Jones, A Hall Gliman, and then Charlie Kohler, Clinton Mitchell, Jordan Shout, Patrick Ricard, and J.K. Moll from the Texans, R. Washington, and then David Obajai. Okay, so center tight end, all these guys that they lost from the Ravens that they had for the past year are all gone now to these teams. That is it for the Ravens. Okay, Bills. They signed Bradley Chubb from the Dolphins, D. Alford. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to mention who the Falcons lost. I can just do that because I already know who they lost. They lost Christian Gonzalez. They lost their punter. They lost uh, Tyler Algier, and I think that was about it. Okay. And then the Bills signed D. Alford. Okay, that's also who the Falcons lost to. Gardner Johnson from the Bears. Kyle Allen is now a Lion, or is now a Bill. And then Mitchell Wischkowski re-signed him. And then Geno Stone. Yeah. Here's who they lost. They lost David Edwards, Reggie Gilman, uh, Cam Lewis, and then Darnell Savage and Mitch Trubisky, who is now on the Titans. Okay, now we go to the Panthers. Panthers signed a lot of people. They signed Jalen Phillips, who's an edge from the Eagles, Devin Lloyd from the Jaguars, Rashad Walker from the Packers, Luke Fortner to the from the Saints. Kenny Pickett is now a oh wait okay. So all these names are from these teams. Okay, so Kenny Pickett is now a Panther. Um, and then John Mitchie is now a Panther from the Jets. David Moore, they re-signed him, and then the rest of these the Panthers just re-signed. So like Isaiah Simmons, and then Robert Bergeron, Travers Gibson, and then yeah, but um, yeah. So if you're in here, make sure to hit that like button. Help out the channel. We are at 164 subscribers right now. The goal is to hit 200. Once I hit 200, we're gonna stream. You already guessed it, for 2 hours, just to do nothing. To stream. Speaking of streaming, not tomorrow, not Monday, but Tuesday. March Madness is coming back, so we're going to be streaming March Madness. So if you're a big basketball fan, join on the streams. We'll be streaming a lot of Georgia games. Go Dogs. But back to this. And then here's who they lost. They lost Cade Miles, Rico Dowell, Ashawn Robinson. Okay, so not really that many losses. Chicago Bears. Okay. Trayman Edmonds. Okay. Kevin Brad, and then as I said here, this guy from who the Bills lost, the Gardner Johnson, uh, Jawan Brisker, sorry, um, and then Q Robinson, from the, uh, oh wait, hold on, that's who they lost. Never mind. Okay, that's who they lost. Okay, sorry, I was on the wrong page. Okay, here's who they got. They got Kobe Bryant from the Seahawks, Neville Gilmore from the Colts, and then Cam Lewis from the Bills. Case Keenum from they re-signed him again. Braxton Jones re-signed him again. From the Lions, they got Keith Raymond, and then Elijah Hicks re-signed. John McFadden re-signed, and then from the Falcons, Travis Street. We got two people in here. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do that. I believe we are at. I have to check and see how many likes are at. I like literally have to go to YouTube to find out. All right, we got 3 likes. Let's go. Um, so and if you're one of the two people and you like to hop on here and talk about the free agency stuff, there is a link in the description that you can hop on here. The only thing I have when you come on here is don't be disrespectful and don't be mean to others and just be kind, okay? Um, but yeah, we had 4 people rocking with us a few minutes ago. Now we got 2. Let me just go ahead and send this to someone. You know who's about to come on here, Daddy? If I can find him. Not the brightest in the shed. Okay, there he is. Okay, I just told the Jake Kistler to join. Okay, we got 2 people. 2 people. Okay, back to this. Okay, so now we're on the Bengals. So the Bengals signed Bo Maffei, Brian Cook, Jonathan Allen, and then Josh Johnson. So not that many pickups, a lot of defensive, and then a quarterback, I guess, to back up Joe Burrow. And then hey, they republished. They lost Trey Hendrickson, Joseph Awasai, Noah Fant, Micro Wilson, Geno Stone, and Jake Browning to the Buccaneers, who's going to back up Baker now. We'll get to the Buccaneers soon. Look at all these teams we have to do. So we're gonna get through this. And don't worry, we're gonna get through this faster than all of them from In Motion Football. I can tell you that. Okay. So the Browns, they got Zion Johnson, Oligoton Jenkins, QC Williams, Trevor Jenkins, Jack Stoll, Trey Every, and then Corey Bajarzi, and then Kayla Davis. So I'm sorry if you're a Browns fan and I'm pronouncing all these wrong. It's just these names are so hard. And then Cam Thomas, who is now on the Falcons, and then Jeremy Ford, you know. Okay, all right, back now, Cowboys here. I got two people in here, so Cowboys. Okay, signed. So they got Jalen Thomason on the Cardinals. Whoops, we don't need to be looking at this. I don't even know why that popped up. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to click that. I mean to click the X. Okay. Um, so let's see. Okay, so apparently that didn't get on YouTube, so that's good. Back to what I was saying. Okay. PJ Luki, uh, Audie, oh my God, Sam Howell, the quarterback, I know that. Sam Williams, Trey Wheat, and Matt Hennessy. Okay. All right. And then they lost Jalen Thomas and Jalen Tolbert. Four people in here rocking with us. If you hadn't hit that like button, be sure to do so. We are streaming about all the free agency stuff that has happened already. We are moving on to the Broncos for so now all my Broncos fans, we are about to get into it. Okay. Um, so the Broncos apparently they didn't really sign anybody. They just re-signed all of their players that they had. So these are all the players they re-signed. But I guess they all they did was lose. They lost John Franklin Myers to the Titans, and then Drake Lee Raw to the 49ers, and PJ Lockie to the Cowboys. So basically just lost some defensive players. They just have to work on the defense, but they'll probably be back to the AFC Championship next year. Um, the Detroit Lions, they did a lot of picking up. They didn't do that much pickup, but they did lose some stuff. So they got Myers from the Panthers, Larry Broom from the Dolphins. They re-signed Rock Ya-Sin, and then they got Christian Izan from the Bucks. They re-signed Tom Kennedy. They got Teddy Bridgewater from the Buccaneers. Um, Tyler Conklin. Con Conkling. Sorry for all the pronouncing. I'm sorry. Trevor no sake. Isaiah Pacheco from the Chiefs. And then Malcolm Rodriguez and Roger McGree. So that's basically who they got and re-signed. And then here's who they lost. They lost Alex Analze to the Bucks, Amik Robertson to the Commanders, Alquan Muhammad to the Bucks, and then Ray Lopez to the Cardinals. Uh, Cal Freeman to the Bears, Grant Certain to the Rams, and then Kyle Allen to the Bills, and Trey Sweet to the Cowboys. And one that's not on here that the Detroit Lions lost. They traded uh they traded David Montgomery to the Texans. So there's that. All right, next the Grossi Posse Packer Nation for all my Packers fans out there. Um Javon Hargy from the Vikings. So there's that rivalry right there, Bears and Vikings, and then Benjamin St. Juste to the from the Chargers, and then they basically just re-signed these players that they already had. And then they lost Malik Willis to the Dolphins, Romeo Dobbs to the Patriots, Quay Walker to the Raiders, um, the Eljon Jenkins that we already looked up, and then Rashad Walker to the Panthers. Um, Kinsey, I think we said a couple of these. And then Nate Hobbs, Samuel Wilson, Zane Anderson. So yeah, a lot of these already we kind of already said, so we kind of know some of them. Houston Texans, um, basically, they got Reed Blankenship, Brandon Smith, Logan Hall, Forrest Maher, and then Jake Humo, DeQuinn Robinson, and then Evan Brown, and then they the key ones that they lost Tim Siddle, Christian Harris, and then Tommy Townsend. Tommy. Okay. Um, so Indianapolis Colts. And if anybody here in the stream has anything to say about these things, you can go ahead, type them in the chat. I'd like to hear your opinions on all this. But before that, I'm just gonna get through all this by myself, and then if you want to come on here and tell me your opinions, we can do that in a minute. Um, okay, so next up, the Colts. Yeah, the Colts. Um, Alec Pierce, they re-signed him, and then they got Adrian Key from the Titans, Michael Klamas from the Jets. They re-signed Laquan Treadwell. Got David Nahadi from the Chiefs, and then uh Jonathan Owens and Jalen Thomas and then Andrew Olatree. They re-signed him. And then here's who they lost. They lost Kitty Play, Brandon Smith, Nico Cross, Neilville Gilmore, Sam Son Eckerbrown, Rhodey Thomas. So yeah. Colts not really that much off season. Chiefs a lot in the off season that they did. So they signed K9 from the Seahawks who just won a Super Bowl, which is really funny. I would have thought that he would have stayed in Seattle. Um, and then the rest you can see they re-signed Travis Kelce. Um, and then yeah, and then they got Erma de Carbia though, and then Cater Caho. Some of these names are just so hard to pronounce. Like it's crazy. Jalen Watson, Brian Cook. These are the players who they lost. Leo Chahel, Charles. Okay. Um, I have a friend named Charles. That's why I did that. And Mehu, and then Gardner Minshew to the Cardinals, like we already said, and then you can see here they Isaiah Pacheco to the Lions, Derek Nahaldal to yeah. I think we said some of these already. We unless we haven't gone over the Titans yet. Um, yeah, we still got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So about only 16 teams. So we're halfway there. We can take a break. We can take a break from talking about this. It's a lot of names that I cannot pronounce. Um, but if anybody has any opinions on the first 16 teams that we've done, go ahead and feel free. You can say anything. I know we have 4 people rocking in here with us. Um, so yeah, I'm all ears. You can say anything you want about what we've discovered and talked about so far. Uh, Okay, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna get somebody on here so I can get their opinion. I'm trying to get somebody on here. Okay. While we're doing, we can go ahead and start with we can go ahead and put the Raiders up here. Just for that, so you guys can get a little pre-look at the players of who they got. While I am going to take a minute and drink some water. All right, we've got 5 people in here. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't. We've already gone through the first 16 teams. But what we were doing, we're just going through it and looking at who they got and who they lost. Um, and yeah, make sure to hit the like button if you haven't. And yeah, now we've lost them. Okay. We had like 8 people in here for a minute, and then now everybody's like gone. Now we only have two. Um, yeah. You can go. Yeah. Okay. We can just go ahead and start. Tyler Liberman from the Ravens. Kitty Pryde from the Colts. Quay Walker from the Packers, the Grassy Pasta Packer Nation. Nick Dean from the Eagles. Jalen Hoare from the Vikings. And then they re-signed Eric Stokes. Re-signed Malcolm Cronus. All right. See ya. RF. See ya. Okay. And then they got Cooper Hayward and Drake Young. And then here's who they lost. Kenny Pickett, Stonefield, Forsta, and Loney Johnson. So that's about it. Chargers did a lot of re-signing though, but I'll just mention the players that they got. So they got Tyler Badazza, and then they got Charlie Core, Cole Strain, and then they re-signed the rest, and then they got Kitten Mitchell, and then Dalvin Thompson, and then the players that they lost right here. Adafa. Oh my gosh. Some of these names, I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else can hardly pronounce these, but just like some of these names, it's like just so hard to pronounce. Zion Johnson, Benjamin St. Just, Autumn I don't even Audie Aboginina, I don't even know. Tyler Cookin, Deshaun Hand, and then Jeremy Slayer. So Chargers got a lot of people that nobody knows how to pronounce their name. Okay. Finally, some names I can pronounce. Okay. The Rams got Tyler Winston, Grant Stroud, Joe Carndana, and Kaylor Thomas. And then here's who they lost. They lost probably some people I cannot pronounce. Okay. Um, the Cobby Durant, and then from the Cowboys, he's a cornerback. So they got two cornerbacks and a wide receiver, Roger McGarry, and then Ottawell. Tutu Ottawell. So he's a wide receiver apparently from Miami. Miami Dolphins literally just signed same thing. They signed a lot of people. We're not going to say the last one because we didn't list Malik Willis from the Packers. Everybody knows that. Greg Dulucci re-signed him. And then they got Zane Gonzalez, as I said earlier. Riley Patterson re-signed him. Terrell Baker Jr. And then Alec Austin from the Patriots. Then they re-signed these two. And then they got Robert Beal Jr., Ben Sims. Uh, they re-signed Willie Gay Jr. Um, Lane Johnson from the Raiders. Duwasha Achi from the Eagles have so many players that I can't pronounce. And then Zane Anderson. Bengals, they got Marco Wilson, Jameer Slayer, Jalen Tolbert, and then David Obajobi. And then so Dolphins got a lot of players. And then here's who they lost. They lost Bradley Chubb to the Bills, and then Cole Strain to the Chargers, Jalen Hill to the Patriots, Larry Broom to the Lions, Alec Ingold to the Chargers, Jake Bailey to the Falcons, John Cardona to the Rams, and then Jalen Sanders to the Giants. Tua Tagovailoa or Tua turn the ball over is what I'm going to say now to the Falcons. And then Elijah Campbell, KJ Pitt to the Patriots, and Cater Kanahu. So yeah, Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, we're getting to this really quickly. I know we hit 34 minutes on stream, you know. Um, but yeah. Hopefully you guys are still rocking with us, even though this is taking a while. Um, but Vikings signed two players, but they re-signed the other two. Okay, so James Pierre from the Steelers and then Kyler Murray from the Cardinals. And as somebody did say, trading Murray, why? I don't know. Like I don't know why would he go to the Vikings? Did anybody here in the chat like want to like say anything? Like why would he pick the Vikings? Like, um, yeah, and they lost not that many people. Jonathan Allen to the Bengals, Jalen Noir to the Raiders, Javon Hargrave to the Packers or Grossi Bossy, Ryan Witt to the Saints, and Ben Sims to the Dolphins. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 more teams, and then I'll have people come on here and say what they thought about it. Okay, so Patriots. Romeo Dobbs from the Packers, Alaji Tucker from the Jets, and then Drew Mont Jones from the Ravens, Julian Hill, Dolphins, Reggie Gilman from the Bills, and then they got Kevin Broad from the Bears, and then they signed from the Titans, Mike Brown, and then KJ Britt from the Dolphins. And then they lost a lot, well, not that much, but a couple. So Kavlon Chason from the to the Commanders, and then Chris Tonga now is on the Chiefs, and then Jalen Hawkins to the Ravens. Veteran Lou to the 49ers, Austin Hooper to the Falcons, and Alex Austin to the Dolphins. Yes, it is a lot. As you can see, we've already gotten through most of the teams. We just have like about like 10 more left. So for the two people watching, thank you for rocking with us. I know it's already been a 36-minute stream already, but now we have to talk about the Aints, as I like to call them, the Aints, because it's my rivalry team. If there's a Saints fan in this stream right here, go ahead and type your name in the chat, because I'd love to argue with you. It's like, just kidding. Um, that'll be for later. Crap. Okay. Arizona beat Houston 79-74. Okay, that's basketball. I don't need to be talking about basketball right now. We're talking about the NFL. Okay. Um, all right, back to here. So David Edwards from the Bills, Travis Etienne from the Jaguars. My brother Caden Ellis is now on the Aints. It's gonna be weird seeing him wear gold and black instead of red and black. Ryan White from the Vikings, and then they re-signed these guys, and then they got Noah Fant from the Bengals. And then they lost Onate Taylor, Daramon Davis to the Jets, and then he was the Titans, and then Luke Forter to the Panthers, so a division rival, and then Foster Muir to the Texans, Jonathan Williams to the Cardinals, and Jack Stoll to the Browns. Okay, now the Giants. Giants, they signed Isaiah Likely from the Ravens, re-signed this guy here. They got did a couple re-signs, and then a lot. Okay, got Tremaine Edmonds. Then they got Jordan Schnaut from the Ravens, Greg Newsome from the Jaguars, Patrick Ricard from the Ravens to the back to the Ravens. So I think what John Harbaugh is doing here, since he is the coach now, he's taking some of his players from the team he coached, and he's trying to have them on the team so he can get Jackson Dart, and get Cam Skattebo, a good team and a good line and some good defense players. But yeah, just wait, all you Giants fans out there, they might be back in the playoffs next year. We'll see. And then they got Patrick Ricard, re-signed that, and then Calvin Austin from the Steelers, Jason Sanders from the Dolphins, Jason Pinmock from to the 49 from the 49ers, yeah. Elijah Campbell from the Dolphins, Adarius Washington from the Ravens, and that's where Darnell Mooney went. He went to the Giants. Okay, crazy. Okay. Who do they lose? They lost a lot of players to the Titans. The Titans picked up a lot of Giants players. But yeah, that's who they lost. And now we're gonna move on to the Jets, and we're about almost done. Okay, signed a lot of players, but did a lot of re-signing. So I'm just gonna say the first four because yeah. So they got Joseph Ossie from the Bengals, Derramon Davis from the Saints, Kinsey Kingsley Enabgair from the Packers, and then Dane Belton from the Giants, and then Nashon White from the Bears. And then they lost a lot. No, not that many. Elijah Bear Tucker from to the Patriots, John Simpson to the Ravens, and Quincy Williams to the Browns, Michael Clemens to the Colts, John Mitchell to the Panthers, Nick Folk to the Falcons, Tony Adams, and also they got Geno Smith back, so that's also a thing. And yeah, we got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So we got about six or seven left. You know, seven. Yeah. Eagles. Okay, so they re-signed the first one. So I'm just gonna say the people that they got because they re-signed two. So they got okay, Kyle Woolen from the Seahawks, Arnold Ebiketie from the Falcons, Jonathan Jones from the Commanders, Johnny Mitta from the Jaguars, and then they re-signed the last one. And then they lost a lot of players. Jalen Phillips to the Panthers, Noka Dean to the Raiders, Reed Blankenship to the Texans, Sam Howell to the Cowboys, Matt Pryor to the Cardinals, Aziz Abajari to the Falcons, and then Kyle Granson to the Titans, and John Uchi to the Dolphins, and then Brett Toth to the to the 49ers. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go see. Okay, so getting into our final six. So that was just the seventh that we did. So now we're getting into the final six. Um, so the Steelers, they got Dion from the Buccaneers, Rico Dow from the Panthers, Sebastian Joseph from the Titans, Jaquan Brisket from the Bears, and Darnell Savage from the Bills. Steelers, uh, mm, not too crazy on their losses, but still a lot. Um, Isaac's the same player that I could not pronounce earlier. And then Kenneth Gainwell to the Buccaneers. Yeah. Okay, I can't believe this. Okay, so you got Rashad White, Bucky Irving, and Kevin Gainwell now. It's crazy. You got those three running backs. Unless one of the other two are gone now. Um, James Pierre, and then Connor Hayward, Calvin Austin, and Corus Whitman. And yeah, all right. Now we're getting into the final five, and then I know we're in. It's already 43 minutes in the stream. Yeah, I know. I'm working, okay? So there's a lot of re-signing, but they picked up Mike Evans from the Bucks, veteran Lou from the Patriots, Dre Greenlaw from the Broncos, resign. From the Eagles, Brett Toth, and from the Steelers, Chris Waitman. And then they lost these guys here. While I'm talking. When we're done here, I'm gonna talk some more about March Madness and what all that stuff. But we'll go ahead and just the final four here. I'm just gonna show it who they lost and who they signed instead of trying to pronounce all these names. Seahawks did resign a lot. Emil Wilson and Early Thomas. That's basically all they got. And then here's who they lost: Kenneth Walker, Kobe Bryant, Drake Young, Terry Walden and Boney Mafi. And then Bucks, as we know, not really that many. We already saw a lot of them got signed from these teams. The only one is the Commanders, Rashad White. He's back on the Bucks. Or no, he's gone. He's at the Commanders. Okay, so that's why they picked up Kenneth Gainwell. And then here's who the Bucks signed. And then Titans, we saw a lot of them. They got a lot of players signed. So a lot. We did probably go through a lot of these teams already, so we already know. And then we'll just talk about who they lost. So they lost Arjun Chig Akinukwa, and then Sebastian Joseph, Daryl Breaker, Mike Brown, Corey Levin, Van Jefferson. And then the final team, the Commanders. Nobody really cares about the Commanders, but here's who they lost. And then the Commanders signed so many people. It's too much. But here's the whole list. So if you want to go ahead and look at it, I'll leave it up here for a minute, and then we're going to go through some ESPN stuff, and then I'm going to mention some stuff about March Madness, and then we'll wrap it up here. Unless anybody here in the stream would like to hop on here and give some of their opinions of the free agency stuff. All right, so that is that. If you guys are interested, Duke right now is beating Virginia now here 6-0. Um, yeah, Lakers. That Kennesaw game, Kennesaw State, Mike Evans, Darnell Mooney. So it's a lot of NBA stuff. I can probably find NFL, so we're not on NBA free agency. So we kind of did cover a lot of this in our thing right here. Marcus Mariota, you know, still on team. Yeah, not a lot, but yeah. I think we can. Two people in here. Sure, hit that like button. We're probably at like a bunch of likes right now. Let me check. Anybody in here know the like count, so I don't have to just like keep going back and forth from StreamYard to YouTube here. All right, 4 likes. Okay. Slow chat today. It's fine. 3 people. Okay. Okay. I feel like I should talk about March Madness now. Okay. So as all the teams are getting ready for the brackets and stuff, I'm gonna do a video, kind of like this format, how the stream how I did for the Falcons thing. I'm gonna do this, but give my predictions of the bracket. Not on the stream. And then I believe the first stream we'll do is literally the first game, probably starts on the 19th. And then we'll definitely do a Georgia game. And then we'll probably do some day games Wednesdays because I do have a thing called web high school here. So I get out early until 30. So if there's a game around like 1 when I get home, I'm gonna be streaming that. Um so if you are a basketball March Madness fan, we're gonna be starting that. Let's go ahead and see if anybody NCAA double. Okay, that's football. Okay, so no scores schedule. Okay, um, So these are a lot of all the matchups. Winners, okay. Okay. Rest of the games for today. And then I guess it goes into Sunday for the championships. And Monday too, the championships, right? Tuesday, we don't know. Okay, so Tuesday is the first day that it starts. I'll probably do my thing. The schedule does come out tomorrow after the championship games. Um, yeah, not really big on anybody coming in here a lot. It's just me tonight a lot. Um, but yeah, so okay, sorry, my sister just keeps coming in. But yeah, so March Madness, I wanted to talk about this after we did recap all the free agency stuff. So if you're just joining, you missed all that, you're gonna have to go back and look at it. We started about not 50 minutes, 51 minutes ago. We like to start a minute earlier as I schedule it. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna have a video coming out later today. Not today, tomorrow. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow. Um, Probably will not be a Madden video because I still gotta film the Madden video tomorrow. But we're taking a break from the Madden videos and we're just gonna dive into March Madness next week, this week, and the rest of the week here. Um, but yeah, once March Madness is over, we're gonna I will not be here in this room for the championship. I will be up in Blue Ridge. Um, So I won't be doing any content except for that one stream that week, but there's nothing gonna be posted, so I'll be like away, even though I'm still streaming, but I'll be like in a different house up in Blue Ridge. And then I probably won't get back to posting until the draft, which is the end of April. So it's like 23, 24, and 25, those 3 days will be I will be streaming those 3 days of the draft so we can see who gets picked into what, and we can react to Fernando Mendoza getting picked number one of the Raiders. Stay tuned for a video, probably. I'm still thinking about how my Mendoza video is gonna be. Um, but is there anything? Do I know if somebody's live or let me see. Okay, nobody I know is live. Okay. So we got 3 people here. I mean, yeah. If you are cheering for a team in the March Madness, type the team that you're cheering for. I'll be cheering for Georgia, and then if Georgia gets out round one, I'll go for Michigan. Um, yeah, we'll be streaming a lot of March Madness games next week. As the basketball schedule here. First round to determine Tuesday, Wednesday. Still trying to figure out what time the game starts. But if you are just joining, we did just like do all these teams and everybody who signed what and go oh my gosh and go back all the way to 2011 when this thing was created. It's crazy. Okay. um we can take a look at the scores that have happened. So uh Arizona beat Houston 79-74. St. John's beat UConn 72-50. Okay, so Michigan won today. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I did see the Purdue game. Anybody see the Purdue game? That was a good one. Arkansas, Ole Miss, SEC in semifinal. Uh, Thursday, did Georgia win? I don't know. Did Georgia win or not?
Yo,
This is my sister, everybody. Say hi.
what's good, guys?
State your name so they know.
My name's Charlie.
Say what grade you're in.
Why do they need to know this
I
information?
don't know. She's a 12-year-old. Her birthday's coming up.
Yo,
I'm gonna be streaming on her
you
birthday.
know who's watching? These cars watching the stream.
Yeah. Is he the only one watching?
Probably. Guys. So there was an interesting ad that came up on your laptop.
When?
Um,
Well, I exit out all the
what was
ads.
that ad?
I don't know.
What are you watching that's getting you these ads?
It's websites
Websites. Why are you going on these websites?
to get the information from the NFL free agency. Yeah, we're talking about college basketball because we're getting ready for March Madness. Stop, Harley. Can you leave, please?
Fine, fine.
I gotta end this stream soon. Okay. I'm trying to figure out when did Georgia play. Okay. Does anybody know when Georgia played? If anybody can, type in the chat for me, please. Okay, I thought Georgia freaking played yesterday. Okay. Apparently they didn't. Okay. We don't need to look at the college basketball anymore. That is gonna be it. Okay. Um, yeah, that'll do it for today. I just went through all the teams and the free agencies, and we looked at some of the March Madness stuff. If you are available next week and the week after, and getting into closer to April spring break in April, we'll be streaming the national championship. Whoever it is, we'll leave the national championships at 7:30. If you catch me eating in a log cabin, hey, that's the only thing I'm gonna be posting is that. And then we'll be back on the NFL stuff after spring break when I get back from my trip. And then draft will come, and then that'll be it for a lot. And then we'll just have to like wait until the summer and see what happens and what, and then we'll get back into streaming the games. Scripted will happen, reaction, well, not reactions, just scripted will happen, scripted for throughout the week. Have a lot of teams in there. Um, but yes, stay tuned for Mendoza content. Madden videos will be posted over the summer. I am gonna finish the videos, but post them daily. And then we might be doing some college football stuff. So yeah, and then I'm gonna try to get an online game going, and then maybe we'll happen to stream while I'm playing a Madden game. So we'll see that. But folks, that's all it's gonna do tonight. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for all the people that joined tonight. Um, it was a hassle for me going through all the teams and trying to pronounce all those players' names. But all I have to say is thank you for joining, and I will see you next week for the March Madness. Goodbye.